Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Isle, a Korean movie from 2000 that was directed by Kim Ki-duk. The following plot synopsis was taken from the website koreanfilm.org. The movie takes place in a rural fishing area where a groundskeeper tends after a set of floating cottages, selling her body to the visiting fishermen. Indeed, the setting is one of the most memorable aspects of the film, misty and remote, as well as being the perfect male fantasy. Now, into this environment comes an ex-cop, on the run from the law after killing his lover. The groundskeeper, who speaks not a word throughout a film, although she does make telephone calls off-screen, becomes fascinated with this man, and the two embark on an intense and hurtful relationship. So as the plot synopsis suggests, the setting in this film is pretty cool. You have these little small platforms, like floating platforms, on this lake of sorts that can only be accessed by boat or by swimming out there. So practically every shot of the film has an atmosphere to it and or a natural beauty to enjoy. At times you get some fog or mist over the lake, which adds to the mood. And there are some stylish camera shots as well, like from underwater. Visually, this movie delivers. Now, the general premise is also pretty cool. Like, the idea of having an entire film take place in this one lake area is quite different. But there's only a minimal amount of actual, story to this film, at least in terms of plot developments. This is more of like a character interaction film, but it still maintains interest. Now, the script's efficiency at setting things up is a big positive. The very first scene of the film is the woman taking a man out into the lake. And she supplies transportation to people, fishing supplies, and beverages as needed. She delivers other prostitutes at times, and also prostitutes herself at times. But she also performs the housekeeping duties in these little huts that are on each floating platform. She kind of runs the area. And we see her interact with this ex-cop, as well as some of the other customers as well. So this does have a bit of a variety in terms of character interaction. Some of the other men do treat her with some disrespect at times, but she finds a way to get back at them, and those are some entertaining moments. Now, one of the most memorable aspects of The Isle is that this is one of the first films I ever saw where the main character never spoke on screen. And as I would later find out, this is a common element in this director's films, especially from this era of his career. And I really enjoy that particular aspect, even if you consider it like a gimmick of sorts, because it forces the filmmakers to figure out methods of communication other than verbal exposition and talking. It's very different from the vast majority of movies out there. And this is a key reason why this movie feels like refreshingly different. The interaction is essentially unique given the filmmaking strategy here. Now, in some cases, it's understandable and logical, but there is some subjectivity at times as well. You know, the ending in particular is very weird. It is. It's pretty weird. Now, some would say it's pretentious in some way, but I liked it. There's also some symbolism throughout the film between humans and fish, among other things. So in my opinion, this is not like a deep movie. It's not deep or one that necessarily relies on strong character development or even motivations. It's simply the events that transpire involving this group of morally questionable people in one location. Now, there are one or two scenes that I do think stretch logic, at least in terms of character decision-making. One that stands out, the male lead hides from police when they're in the area at one point, and he uses a certain strategy, but as a viewer, you'd think there would be a less painful way to accomplish that goal. It felt a little forced. Definitely a unique scene, though. There's another scene with a tied-up woman who makes a very bad decision. I'm not sure what she was thinking. So these could be considered flaws in the film, and they probably are. But within the context of the movie as a whole, not that big of a deal. Now here comes my warning to you. Some movies I need to give a warning. And yes, here are a few warnings on the aisle. This was a controversial movie when it came out. Now, obviously, the premise, like the element of prostitution and male-female relations, was kind of a hot-button topic, but there's also some depictions of violence and sex. There are a few wince-worthy scenes involving fish hooks, all right? But some of the violence is actually inferred. It's not explicitly shown. So this isn't like an overtly gory film, or anything like that, but it's just the idea of what's happening on screen will make you squirm at times. There's also a brief but disturbing flashback scene involving a murder. There are also some animal-related moments in this that made a few viewers feel uncomfortable. A little bit of animal violence in this one, mostly involving frogs and fish. There's a scene with a dog, somebody just gives it a little tap on the head. But in most of these cases, the animals were used by the characters for food or used to show a character in significant emotional trauma or, really angry. But this is just something to be aware of, before you decide to watch the film. So I do recommend The Isle. I do, and I do think it holds up over time. But it's aimed more towards adventurous viewers who want something a little bit different with a little bit of an edge to it as well. In terms of availability, this is streaming on Tubi and Amazon, very easy to find. There is a Chinese Blu-ray box set that includes 13 of Kim Ki-duk's movies. I'm pretty sure it's a legitimate release. At least it seemed to be. You can easily find it on eBay. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.